before you this evening, and we thank you for the blessings of this day and the blessings you give us every day. Lord, we ask that you watch over our meeting this evening and guide our hearts and minds to make decisions that are in the best interest of our water system. Lord, we ask our continued prayers for baby Jonah Kiger as he struggles to get brain activity back. We keep him in our prayers daily. And we also want to pray for Director Reynolds, who can't be with us tonight. She had a medical procedure. We pray for her recovery and healing from her procedure today. Lord, as always, we ask that you watch over and protect military men and women, first responders, all those who work to keep us safe and free every day. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'd like to thank everybody that is in attendance tonight. Thank you for showing up. I'm going to announce we have a quorum here. We have 5 board members here. 4 is required, so we do have a quorum. Audio and video recorders are in use, and please fill out the member form sign-up sheet to address the board. It's out there in the lobby. Thank you so much. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes and transcripts. The August 19th, 2025 regular meeting minutes and transcripts. Do I have a motion to approve the transcripts?
Make a motion to approve the August 19th, 2025 regular meeting minutes and transcripts.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. And Mr. Matthews has a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. And the next item is approval of memberships. August new memberships 330, canceled memberships 302, and 0 transfers. Do I have a motion to approve the memberships?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And there's none approved, so motion passes. All right, unfinished business. Item number 1 is Administration 2025 Paulina Bar Water System elections, and I know some of you folks are probably here to hear about the elections. And we're going to start with Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so the trial related to the election lawsuit occurred last Thursday on the 11th, and I was going to have council provide an update on that and how it might affect our election cycle.
Thank you, Mr. Krigler. Board members, on September the 11th of 2025, the final hearing in the matter that was brought by Ms. Romy White against the board with regards to the election of 2025 came to a final hearing. That hearing started at 1 p.m. and Judge Duncan kept going until about 7:30 p.m. All evidence was heard, argument was made, and the court took the matter under advisement. The court informed the parties that were present that he would endeavor to issue a ruling in the matter by October the 3rd. He asked me specifically as to the date. I informed him of your board meeting tonight, indicated that your election process starts, and as soon as we could get a ruling, it would be much appreciated. We're very grateful for the court for actually making that time. September 11th, you'll recall, that was a accommodation that the court made to get this done, and the court indicated that it would endeavor to get you a ruling so that you could stay on your, it'll be an abbreviated, but I think your staff has a way to move forward if we get that that order by October the 3rd.
Okay. All right. So bottom line is we still don't have a ruling, and there's no reason to put into place all the procedures for this coming up election until after we get a ruling from the judge, and he kind of gives us some boundaries, what we can and cannot do regarding the proxies, which is the whole reason for the lawsuit to start with.
Well, and also how many directors you may be
Correct, yeah.
may be at play, right?
Correct, yeah.
So are we gonna need to do a board action without a meeting on this? Is that the plan going forward? We won't have another meeting?
Plan is for a meeting on tentatively October the 8th
Okay.
to go over the
Special meeting?
special meeting, yes. And that's a tentative date.
All right. Moving along, we'll go to item number 2, which is the Santa Rose Regional Reuse Project, settlement amount for property acquisitions. Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so as part of the Eglin reuse project, Clark Partington was hired by the county to coordinate the necessary property acquisitions. Cost of the right-of-way acquisition, was paid by us per the MOU that was signed as part of the project agreement. And those have to be approved by the Board of County Commissioners as well. So tonight, staff's requiring additional authority to complete those acquisitions.
All right.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could elaborate, as we discussed in the special board meeting, I'm in need of your direction with regards to authority to continue negotiation, and I would like a motion for that authority.
Okay, Mr. Dunaway, we appreciate that. I think we have a motion ready to go. Ms. Pam.
Okay. So the motion is authorize board attorney to negotiate with opposing counsel in case number 23 CA 000785 for settlement of all of the takings for the temporary and permanent easement on property owned by the defendant, represented by Fixel Law Firm, and to bring back to the board for final approval and negotiated some certain.
Final approval.
Final approval and negotiated, okay.
All right.
Some certain,
This one.
okay.
Second motion.
All right. So this is basically a motion that gives Mr. Dunaway the authority to continue negotiating with some of these residents who are not particularly happy with the
Who are represented by counsel.
represented by council. Thank you. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Mark?
I seconded.
Okay, Mark seconded. Thank you. Any further discussion from the board?
No.
No.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Dunaway. Item number 3, unfinished business, operations. PCC sewer rehab contract task order number 22. Again, Mr. Krigler.
Yes, so since April of last year, PCC has been working under an annual contract for miscellaneous repairs in our sewer system. We've identified a group of manholes. I believe there's 8 in this particular task order that have been either paved over or buried. The most likely situation is the county goes in and paves a road. Manholes don't get brought up to grade, so they're buried under asphalt. Creates lots of problems. We can't access them. Can't get into the line to clear any blockages or clogs, and can't get in to inspect the line. So this task order is to bring those manholes up to grade and set a concrete collar around the manhole so it'll be flush with the asphalt. So we're proposing this work be done as a task order under their existing contract, and we're also asking that it be funded from our unrestricted budget under the item General Collection System Repairs, of which there is adequate funds available in the 2025 budget. Cost of this work, $39,897. So we're asking that the board approve task order number 22 in this amount for PCC to complete this work.
All right, I know Pensacola Concrete and Construction has done a lot of work for us, and we've been happy with their work. They continue to do a good job for us.
They've been
Okay.
been very responsive, and they're helping us out with that emergency work at the plant as well.
I've got a couple of questions. One, when these roads are resurfaced, do we not get any kind of notification?
So we do. So our system engineer works with the county. Like, for instance, in their 2025, they tell us their paving plan, they're paving roads throughout the county, but we'll get the information. So in 2025, we have a cost to have those adjusted by the county's paving contractor. These are older ones, if I'm not mistaken. These have been buried for longer than a year that weren't done back whenever that coordination didn't happen or it was missed. Sometimes they'll just go out and pave a road and we don't know about it. The coordination right now is pretty good with the county and we're catching that kind of stuff, so.
Okay. And other question is, do we ever do any of this kind of work in-house? Is this anything
We have done some of this in-house, Mark. In fact, we've worked in this area right here and done some of them. We just don't have the time or manpower to do it right now.
All right, so do we have a motion to approve task order number 22 in the amount of $39,897 for ECC?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Matthews
I'll second.
and Mr. Miller second it. Any further discussion from the board? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, new business. Item number 1, Mr. Krigler got some updates for us.
Yeah, a few quick updates tonight. First one is, I guess, some good news for Holly Navarre. Back in, I believe it was 2002, when Fairpoint Regional Utilities was first formed, each of the 3 member utilities, being us, Midway Water System, and the City of Gulf Breeze, contributed $260,700 each as a startup investment, essentially for the infrastructure for Fairpoint. The Fairpoint board has continued to discuss the fate of this initial investment. At the August Fairpoint meeting, the Fairpoint board voted to return that original distribution to each of the member utilities. So we received a check for $260,700, and that will go into our restricted account. So that was kind of, like I said, good news for us, and it was something the Fairpoint board had been discussing and kind of wanted to bring resolution to, so that's why they did it.
That's good. That's excellent.
Also wanted to update some work we did at well number 2. So we had well number 2 pulled, so we could do some routine kind of investigation, routine maintenance, and then follow up. We had some repairs. So these 2 task orders were separate, and the total of them totaled more than $25,000. So individually they did not. So I was able to approve those, but since they combined added up to over $25,000, I wanted to bring that information to the board to let you know we did that. The pulling the well and the investigation, I think we said about $24,000 on it. And when you pull the well, you don't know what you're going to find. You can find anything. It could be everything's fine, or it could be, oh my gosh, we've got a major problem, and we need to do something. This was pretty minor. What they found, I believe they replaced some 160 feet of line shaft. I think was the majority of the repairs. I can't remember what else was on there.
They replaced the line shaft, had some pitting in it, so they went and replaced it. And we replaced some spider bearings to guide that shaft down through the hole.
Right.
And I believe one piece of column pipe
and
was in bad shape, replaced it.
Yeah,
The
so,
pump itself and all was still in good shape.
And well number 2 is not a workhorse for us, but when that Fairpoint line went down, we were using it, I think, every day during that time. So it's important to have that one, ready to go, just like all our other wells.
Which one is 2? It's up here across
Where
East
the
River.
where the standpipe is in Hominy?
When you go up by the clay pits and all that one on the left, that's well number 2.
So once again, that was just a informational item that we did that work. I also wanted to report that I made a visit with new Representative Boyles. He's the representative that replaced Doc Rudman. Our lobbyist, Liberty Partners, facilitated that visit. It was just essentially a meet and greet. He's I think he started in June, so that's the type of things that they provide us, is staying in tune with our local delegation. And I believe there's a local delegation meeting on the 23rd, so a week from tonight. I know Director Reynolds wanted to go to that, and I'm planning to go to that as well, just to say a few words to our local delegation. Last item, we were able to make a repair on our reclaimed water main on Leisure Street. So this is the line that feeds the Holly by the Sea aesthetic ponds. The line broke essentially in a wetland area, We notified Holly by the Sea that the ponds were down. They appreciated that. And then we were concerned we were able to get in there and access it. We were going to have to bore a new line, but Clinton's guys did a great job, got in there and knocked this thing out. I think they were finished, took them a couple hours when they got in there.
Yeah,
finished before lunch.
Yeah, once we reached
Yeah.
the place.
Did a great job. So anyway, that line's back in service, so we're flowing again with reclaimed water to Holly by the Sea ponds.
Oh, got a lunch out of it.
They were getting kind of low there for a minute.
Well, they were, I guess they get complaints when those ponds get low.
Yeah, oh, sure.
So Holly by the Sea was calling me, but we stayed in touch and they were glad that it was put back
Because
in
of the
service.
ducks.
Ducks and turtles.
The ducks.
That's all I got.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Krigler. Moving on to item number 2, Director's Update. We'll start off with Ms. Pam Hardy with the Finance Committee update.
Yes, unfortunately, Ms. Reynolds, she's not able to be with us tonight. So as a result, I will provide an update regarding the capital improvement section of the financial statements, as well as the Finance Committee updates. So the Finance Committee met September the 12th to review the financial reports for July concerning the capital improvement projects, as well as a comparison between the budget and operating and maintenance expenses. July water system capacity fees are down, and wastewater system capacity fees are up from the previous year. July water and wastewater sales are up from the previous year, and this is primarily due to the rate increase in 2025. Overall, revenue is above budget at 63%. The capital improvement projects are progressing as planned, and Santa Rosa County has fulfilled its financial obligations for the construction of the pump station at the Navarre wastewater treatment facility, which is part of the regional reuse initiative. Overall, the capital improvement projects appear to be on schedule. Mark will be given an update on the expenses with the admin and maintenance expenses, budget to actual.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll go on to budget.
Sorry, I kind of got lost.
That's
Sorry
all
about
right.
that, y'all.
Yeah. We'll move on to budget and O&M, Mr. Miller.
yeah, like Pam said, revenues are up. We're at 63%, which is, I think we're tracking along. We should be at 58% of the budget, so we're about 5% over where we should be. Most of our expenses are under budget. There's a couple of outliers that are over budget, but overall, we're definitely under the 58% mark on expenses. So we're tracking right along where we need to be this year.
Nice. All right, we'll move along to the pension and the 401k. That would be Mr. Matthews.
I asked Barbara for something juicy, but there was nothing in there, just a bunch of numbers. No, it's long game. It looks absolutely fine.
All right.
That's all I got.
That's all you got, all right. The Santa Rosa Regional Reuse Project is still going right along. Obviously, these easements are a big part of getting this thing completed. But as of now, most of the pipe has been laid, and we're in a good spot. Just hoping we can go ahead and get this thing finished up as quickly as possible. The Club at Hidden Creek Management Board, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, the Club at Hidden Creek Management Board met, and we've had a couple of really good months, July and August, so the revenues are way up on the golf side of the business. The event side of the business is a little under budget, but we still continue to get events booked. The CIP items they've been knocking those out, and I think they're about to do some work on the side of the clubhouse where those columns are, where there used to be some pergolas. They're going to take all that down and work on that. So that's part of the CIP. And then spray field costs, we're still well below budget on spray field costs out there. So that's another good thing.
All right, and we'll go back to Mr. Krigler for the Fairpoint Regional Utility System.
Yeah, really not a lot to report for Fairpoint this month. We're about to go into budgeting. We'll present a draft budget in October and then a final in November. Of course, the Fairpoint Board doesn't meet in December, so that'll kind of wrap up our year there. Nothing else really too exciting going on.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Municipal Engineering Services, Mr. Phillips.
I don't think we have anything new and interesting to report. Boring month.
Yeah. You still have the employee that we just hired?
We still have an employee that's going to start
Oh.
on September 29th.
I don't want to jinx you. I didn't mean to jinx you. All right, we're very good. All right, moving down to item number 3, new business finance review of the July 2025 financials, and we'll start off with Mr. Krigler.
Yes, thank you. I'll let Ms. Barbara cover those this month.
All right, so for the month of July, we have a total revenue of $2,328,328,000. With $904,000 of that was the Santa Rosa County share, their portion of the pump station related to the Eglin project. The total expenses of $1,095,245 with a net operating income of $1,233,082.
All right, thank you.
Good month.
Very good month. And I'm guessing that the spike here is the money that came from the Santa Rosa County,
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll take some more money. I like it. All right. Obviously, everybody's had a chance to review the financials. Do we have a motion to approve the July 2025 financials?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Miller?
Second.
And I have a second from Mr. Matthews. Any discussion from the board? All right, we have a motion and a second to approve July 2025 financial statements. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. All right, this next item is going to be for discussion only. Ms. Reynolds is really made a really good point. She brought this up to the board that our bad debt collection is maybe not as high as we'd like it to be, and we thought we'd come up with some discussion tonight to kind of help us head in the right direction. Apparently, we used to use a collection agency that back when COVID hit, I guess we decided at that point not to use collection agency anymore. So in bad debt, it seems to be creeping back up a little bit. So it's probably a good time to have this discussion. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Krigler.
Yes, thank you. So I'll just go over a little bit of the history, some of the facts and figures, and then we can have some discussion. So it looks like we hired a third-party debt collection service in 2009, and they worked with us until 2020. During that period, a total of $38,000 was collected by both us and the debt collector. That doesn't mean it means either someone come in and paid a bad debt, or the debt collector collected it. So that's a total over that time frame. So regardless of how it was paid, the debt collector would have been due a third of that per the prior agreement. So that's about $13,000, and that's whether they had an active role in that recovery or not. Once the debt's given to them per that agreement, they're due a third of whatever we recover. And just to give you a frame of reference, over that same 11-year period, debt averaged about $19,000 a year. This is just a graphical depiction of the same thing, how much the bad debt was each year, how much ended up being paid. For some reason, I think by the way our data was collected, there's some years on that left side of the screen that are combined, so that's not a higher year. That's actually 4 years on that second bar, and everything through 97. Before that, I think that the records were kept differently before then. So you can see we typically only collect a small, or essentially a small percentage of the outstanding debt. You can see in my pointer's not working, but you can see in 2020, 2021, the debt was quite low, started to drop, and then as David mentioned, starting to kind of creep back up again, and that's kind of why we're kind of talking through this tonight and what we might want to do. So the average collected during that 11-year period while we were using the service was about $3,000, a little bit over $3,000 a year. Without the service, we have a limited data set. That's just since 2021, about $1,300 a year. I think we're talking about two different options. We're talking about possibly a third-party debt collector or selling the debt to a debt buyer. And that'd be where you just get like pennies on the dollar. We don't think that's a great option. We don't think that's a serious consideration. But I think whether or not to do third-party debt collection would be the discussion. But both of these activities, they have to follow their certain federal guidelines. I think there's something called the Federal Debt Collection and Protection Act that provides some consumer protections when they go about contacting these people, prohibits harassment, false claims, et cetera. They have to follow that. So just some considerations for kind of what's happened in the past and what we've seen. We get a good portion of our debt collected from members staying in the area and moving to another address or leaving and coming back because they have to pay that bad debt to open a new account. That's how we get a significant amount. As I mentioned, the bad debt dropped dramatically during COVID, but it started to climb back up. So members that move away permanently are more appropriate for this effort. However, how do we determine that? How do we track it? Typically, you group all the bad debt, and the collector would get all that. It's very hard to know. We don't know what people are going to do when they move away. We don't have that data. So hard to separate kind of who the people are that are moving away permanently versus those who may or may not return. A big consideration in the past, I believe, we used to collect Social Security numbers, and I would assume the debt collector used that. We don't do that anymore. So a big question going forward would be, is that the kind of information they would want? If so, there might be some real challenges there. I don't think, collection of that information is not very member friendly, and I think that's why it was discontinued. There was, I think, some member concerns about giving out that kind of information. So if that's something that entity would require, I think we would have concerns about that. We'd have to work through that. My understanding is they only go back 3 years. Amber, is that right? After 3 years, they stop actively working it. So if we give them an amount or a member with bad debt, they'll work it for, I think, 3 years, whatever, according to whatever schedule they have. After 3 years, they don't work it anymore.
I think it was 5.
Is it 5? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was our previous collection agency. I don't know what they currently do.
And
I think this was with Empire.
Well, that's an example. So if we decide to proceed with this, we would do some type of solicitation where we would advertise and let multiple agencies, entities compete for this. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I think Director Reynolds just found Empire as an example. Yeah. Here's someone that does this. It's just a look at. So that's not who we don't know them. We're not recommending them. That was just an example. Okay. And then of course some other options we talked about is. We can look at our deposit policies, how all that affects bad debt. But a lot of our deposit policies over the years have kind of evolved, and they're member friendly. We'd like to keep it that way. So obviously, if you raise a deposit, you can eliminate some bad debt theoretically. But we're not recommending that or advocating that at this time. So there's other ways to affect it, but we think this, if it's something that should be done, third-party debt collector may be the way to go. Typically, the way these agreements work is we don't pay them. They get a portion of what's collected. So we're not out anything if they're successful or not. It's just the concern about we know we've had people move back to the system or move around that we get the money when they open a new account, and the debt collector did not have to do anything, and they got a third of that amount. So that's kind of one of the rubs. So we'd have to work through all that. But that's kind of it. So that's kind of just the kind of real brief overview of what we did in the past and what we might be able to do. As you can see, it's not really high sums of money. Right. But once again, we would not be out anything. So it's kind of pros. There is some administrative effort to track it. We haven't tried to quantify that either.
How often do we send out collection letters? Us monthly? Do you have a bad debt? A person that handles the bad debt where they send it out?
I think she's asking once it's written off.
Okay, so the process is, of course, the customer would get their final bill, so they would get that notice. And and then after 3 months, before we go to write the bad debt off, we send out both another letter to the customer, to the address
Okay.
that we have on file, and if we have an email address, we send it out in an email format as well before it's written off.
Okay.
We give it 2 weeks, and then at that point, it's written off as bad debt.
Okay, so anything that's 3 months, you go ahead and write that off. And you only send one letter out. You don't send out a letter monthly saying that you owe this amount of money.
You know, we send out the final bill, and then the second notification before we write off the bad debt.
Okay.
But even after the back debt is written off, if that same individual moves back into the area, we have a record that they skipped out owing us money and they have to pay that. So it's not completely written off. We still,
Correct, we can still
Still
as
collect
bad
it.
debt.
okay.
Do we have the ability to affect someone's credit if they refuse to pay us?
I know we don't have any lien power. I don't know about the credit question.
Just like credit card companies, they don't have any lien power.
We don't currently report the credit.
But that would be obviously something that we could send them a letter and say, hey, look, if you don't pay this, we're going to report it to the credit agencies. That might get some people,
Or is that
encourage
what
some people to pay.
it might?
So,
And
It's a
then
will
they
thing,
wouldn't be
isn't
able,
it?
yeah, they wouldn't be able to get service anywhere else. I mean, it would be on their credit report. Do
well,
we
we're
look
damaging
at
their credit, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be one
Yeah,
form
it
of
would show
recourse
up.
that we could have.
Without their social security number, though, I don't see how we can report it on a credit.
Oh, that's
Credit
true.
report.
Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
that's
good point.
something we'd have to discuss, I guess.
Well, Jeff, thank you for going over that for us. And again, this was just a line for discussion only, and I think it gives us something to think about, meditate on. And I know Miss Reynolds also has some information that she wants to share, so we're gonna allow her to do that at the next month's meeting. Any further discussion from the board on the bad debt? You want to move on? Okay. So we're going to move on to item number 5, operations. Gordon Evans Lift Station, number 68. Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so this is essentially the influent lift station at our Holly plant, meaning all the wastewater that comes to the Holly plant goes through this lift station. And our electrical staff has requested to replace the control panel, upgrade the control panel at this station. Basically, the main issue is damage from hydrogen sulfide, which is essentially just a very corrosive environment at these wastewater plants. So this is an older panel, and of course we need this lift station functioning since it's the main station into the plant. Staff obtained 2 quotes for this one, and we're recommending going with the low bidder, Hydra Services. And this will be funded out of our unrestricted budget line item for general lift station repairs and improvements, which also has funds available in that 2025 budget line item. The low bid price for Hydra Services to do this work is $37,488.17.
All right, any questions or concerns from the board? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the Gordon Evans Lift Station number 68 control panel purchase in the amount of $37,488.17 from Hydra Services?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Matthews, thank you.
I'll second.
And we have a second with Mr. Miller. Since there's no further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, item number 6. Administration Benefits Committee, Mr. Krigler.
Yes, so we had 2 workshops this year to go over employee benefits, and out of that discussion came an idea to have essentially created a benefits committee made up of employees and board members. This committee would provide employee input to the board. not just on healthcare, but all benefits, could be retirement, could be leave policies, could be anything. This would just purely be an advisory committee. We're not, and certainly no authority to commit resources or make any official changes. Any policy changes or commitment of resources would come back to the board for approval. But we think this is a good way to engage the employees in their benefits and going forward. Probably meet monthly or bi-monthly. Haven't worked that out yet, or as needed. And then what I would envision is, if you look on your agenda under Director's Update, you know, it probably would be a report under that. It would be a committee under that. And as our Santa Rosa Regional Reeves project winds down, we probably don't need that committee anymore. So we'll probably just replace that and put the benefits committee there. But anyway, we gave some thought to what this committee would look like. We think it makes the most sense to have 2 board members on it. Of course, 1 representative from each of our for-profit entities that we own, 1 Messy representative, 1 representative from the Club of Hidden Creek, and then 5 Holly Navarre employees. So that'd be 9, which is a bit of a large group, but we think it gives everybody a say that would want to have a say. So that's what we're recommending, that the board approve formation of this committee, and I wouldn't anticipate starting before January.
Okay. Yeah, I personally think it's an excellent idea. We've had that at a number of companies I work for. It involves the employees, and it gives it a sense of empowerment, and they come back with usually some really good suggestions and ideas because it directly affects them. So I absolutely have no problem with this at all. I think twice a month is probably a little excessive.
Right.
At least once a month for sure, though,
Yeah.
to keep everybody involved and update everyone on it.
And do you think that we really need 2 board members? Maybe 1 would be?
I don't know. I think. I think
Yeah, I
just
mean, they're
one
not going to
board
be
member
voting on
would be
anything, so the fact that it would be an even number, that would get you down to 8. Maybe that would still be okay. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that.
Okay. I didn't know if you had some certain reason that you thought we needed to, or
I actually don't.
it would just be up to the board.
On this, or we?
Let's see. Yeah.
I did want to bring something up, though. So after we voted on the employee benefit package, and then I started looking back at some of the other utility companies to see what they do. I personally think that HR needs to present to us 3 RFP with a minimum of 3 different agencies, and then have 1 that's a PPO, and then the other utilities companies, what they do with the PPO is the benefit, the family benefit, they usually pay maybe up to 75% of that, 100% for the employee, and then up to 75%, up to 75%. But then also they offer them an HMO, which has a health savings account, an HSA, which helps supplement for the benefits that they're not going to be getting with that HMO. So like in this case, when we approved the HMO, and it had like the prescriptions, they were going to have to pay more for their prescriptions. If we had an HSA, if they had that was in place, they could go ahead and elect and for that year and say, well, I'm going to open up HSA for $2,000. Then they could start paying monthly. It would be deducted from their salary. And then that would be prescription, that would be doctor's appointments, that special doctor appointments, anything that they see dental, they could put in there. Anything that they see for the year that they would need some money, and they can start using it right away before they have any type of money in the account. And then that would supplement that HMO. And, but I think that we might need, instead of just going with that one agency, maybe get 3 different, and it could be Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever, have them present it, and they could present it to that committee. And then they could go through that and then submit it to us, what they think. Because everything was so rushed last time, we didn't even know really what was happening. And I kind of felt like we were just pushed into it, you know. There really wasn't a good benefit for the employees, I felt.
Do we have a contract with that company?
I'd have to look back.
Historically use it?
Yeah, we have used them for several years. I'd have to ask Jared what I'm sure there's some agreement we have with
Okay,
them.
just kind of curious.
But, yeah, I mean, there might be more of you probably have to select a benefits provider and then, because I don't know if you'd want multiple providers providing all these plans and we have to think through that. But I see what you're
Right.
saying, but we certainly
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying we can't.
Something to consider, yeah, going forward.
Yeah.
I know with that HMO, with the HSA account, the deductibles might be a little bit higher, but at least that would give the employee an advantage to, you know, for their medication, if it's going to be more, or doctor's appointment, like a special, like they don't pay for a special.
Right.
So, anyway, that was some thoughts that I had.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually worked for a company that had an HSA account. It didn't last very long for some reason. It didn't go over well. They did it for like 2 years in a row, and then they did away with it. So I don't know
I
all the
did
details,
too,
but
and I used it all the time, and I loved it.
yeah.
Yeah, because I had a lot of dental work that I had to have done, and you know, insurance, they don't pay for much of that at all.
And it's deducted out of your paycheck before tax.
Yes, before tax. I forgot to
Yeah.
put that out, yeah.
So,
But those are all things the benefits committee can take up earlier than
yeah.
we did
Than
last
we
year.
did last
Absolutely,
year, yeah.
absolutely. Jeff, I have a question for you. What if, could we make a motion to agree to the benefits committee and then have you come back maybe in October and give us details on what the committee looks like?
Absolutely.
Because I don't really
Yeah, I think
necessarily
we
need
we
to
can
go
talk a
to-
little bit more about 1 versus 2. I don't, like I said,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Because I would be inclined to go ahead and get this in motion, but I don't want to debate how many people from hauling our water system and how many people from the golf club should be on it, and that kind of thing. I think Jeff would know better than anyone and his team. But I'm definitely on board with the benefits committee. I think it's an excellent idea. I think it gives the employees a really good opportunity to get involved. And if there's, you know, some of these people have some strong opinions on the healthcare, and I think they should be heard. So I don't know how that motion sounds, but somebody wants to make a motion.
To approve the formation of the benefits committee with Jeff Krieger's
input on number of members to be included on the committee.
number of members at the next month's meeting.
Okay,
That makes sense?
that makes sense. Can you say it again?
No. Get the transcript.
All right, so I think I heard, and Mr. Dunaway, you might want to help me with the verbiage here and the wording. I think I heard there was a motion to approve the
Formation of the
Formation.
benefits committee
benefits committee.
with Mr. Kriegler's input next month.
With details to be worked out.
As to the composition of that committee.
All right.
A second that.
All right, we should probably say that all together so that we can get it.
One more time.
3 times is shown here.
All right,
A motion to approve the formation of the benefits committee guest input at the next meeting as to the composition of the committee.
All right, perfect.
Good stuff.
You have that right. All right, we have a motion and a second.
Go ahead.
Any further discussion? All right. Go ahead.
Jeff, your intention is this committee would actually start meeting next year? Is that-
Probably first of the year. I mean, we're going to about get into budgeting. It's probably, a little premature right now.
Right.
We want to get through this open enrollment, get everyone on there, the new health plan, and then start it up.
So that would be,
table it.
the board representative would be appointed at the board reorganization meeting, more than likely, where we...
Yeah, that's
assign
probably would
somebody-
be a better way to do it. Otherwise you might be limited on who would be eligible.
Right, okay.
Okay, I'll note that.
All right. Thank you, Mark. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. All right. And we'll go to item number 7 here, open workshop, retirement benefits. Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so at the first benefits workshop, we talked about a proposal to increase our 401k match from 5 to 6%. This, of course, being part of our goal to continue to offer a competitive package. We want to be able to, of course, recruit and retain top talent. I believe the item was tabled at the time, and Director Miller asked at the second workshop that we put this back on the agenda for further discussion, so I have done that.
I think this would be a good thing for our employees to match at 6%. It's an additional 1%, and the fiscal impact is approximately $25,000 a year. We just saved almost $300,000 a year on the health insurance plan that we voted for. So I feel like this would be a way of giving a little something back to the employees, since they're going to have some additional costs with that HMO plan. I don't know, and I know that my wife's employer matches at 6%. I'm sure that's a number that a lot of other large companies are doing, and it would help us recruit and retain employees. So I think it's a good thing.
Jeff, let me ask you this, just from your experience, something like this going from 5 to 6%, does it really affect somebody's decision to join a company or not?
To be quite honest with you, there's people who are concerned about this and people who aren't. Typically what you see is, if you're just starting out in your career, this may not be as important to you, but for some of the senior staff and the folks that are starting to think about that, it is important.
Yeah.
So it's yes and no, to be
Okay.
honest.
So it depends on who we're trying to recruit. And obviously, we're trying to recruit experienced
Who
folks.
we're trying to retain is more important.
Retain? Okay. That makes sense. All right, we're going to call Mr. Bill Thiel. He wants to.
I'm Bill Teal, 2842 PJ. I'd like to know, Jeff, what's the current participation rate in the 401k program? That might have a big impact on whether you want to do it or not.
In percentage of people,
Yeah,
I think it's about 3/4
okay, that's good.
ballpark.
That's very good. That would be a real incentive then for that big of a participation.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thiel. Well, is the board ready to make a motion? And
I'd like to make a motion that we increase the 401k match from 5% to 6%.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board members? All right, no further discussion. So all in favor of increasing the 401k match from 5% to 6%, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. All right. All right, next item would be engineering. Mr. Phillips, you got anything for us?
No, well, a little bit. If you notice, the plant flow, the I&I is down. I'm not sure exactly what Donna discovered this past month. Clinton might be able to speak to it a little bit more, but they did discover some discrepancy in their water loss numbers. It kind of swung the water loss number probably too far the other way, but at least they're kind of homing in on some of the data that they're getting, try and figure out what the heck is going on between the different software and the reporting that's done, so.
Okay.
So we found too much money. Too much water. We lost water dollars.
We, we found, usage as opposed to loss. So she did not, again, she doesn't feel comfortable. We did not put the, water loss numbers in the package, but I think it pushed it down to about 2%. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a meter issue at a well that we discovered bounces around.
Yeah.
So we're in the process of fixing that.
Okay. All right.
We'll see what next month looks like.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. We appreciate that. Now we come to the member forum portion of the meeting. If anybody wants to address the board, I've got 3 names on the sign-up sheet that we haven't heard from yet. Give everyone an opportunity. All right, here we go.
Evening. Anthony Robertson, 8624 Olivera Street. So I was in discussions with the CSS about billing and adjustments. So I came here tonight, give you background, moved here 2011, military, Herbert Field, lived for about 5 years, moved in 2016 to England, came back, rented our house out the whole time, but we've owned our house since 2011. So been a part of the community, love the community, want to stay here, want to retire here, love it. So 2 years ago we did an adjustment, had a pool put in, did an adjustment for the fill because obviously we don't know if the adjustment will ever be around again, or if there will be a leak eventually. We did have a leak. So we went through the process of trying to ask for the adjustment. 2 years ago, the adjustment was done under my wife's name, under the account under her name. This time, it was requested under my name, under the account, but same address. So just want to read through this really quick. It's not just like a woe is me, but like also trying to give some recommendations on things that we found as maybe solutions for how we have things written down. So basically, I'm here to request reconsideration on my recently denied billing adjustment request. We did have a leak, a water leak that was in a hidden area. We couldn't see it, didn't know what was happening. It's just happening over a week or 2 weeks. I don't know exactly. We did not have the alert system that tells you you're using this much water. We realize that now, and we have it on. It tells us all the time, hey, you're losing water. But we were able to address that once we did figure it out, turn it off, but big substantial bill. Also 3 years ago, we converted from septic to sewer, right? So we paid the $10,000+, abandoned the septic, had the line put in, connected to the sewer, right? So we put in the money because we knew septic was eventually not really going to be suitable for our large family size, and so on, so on, so on. So we fully understand the policy allows for a one-time adjustment, and that previous adjustment was granted, but the way the verbiage is written is very penalizing to the long-term, right, investor in the community, right, the one that stays for 20, 30 plus years, right? It says one time, but the way it's written is one per customer, per account, per that address, right? So it kind of allows a person to move from address to address and get a one-time adjustment and a one-time adjustment, but it kind of is set up to penalize the long-term resident, right? So the service agreement and the way that the adjustment verbiage reads doesn't really help the members of this organization as much as it just kind of hinders them or scares them from using the one-time adjustment, because once in a lifetime you don't know what's going to happen, but you're going to have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times that might happen. So I also want to point out that we have a rental property. It is on septic. We have not converted that one, but that does not cost us sewer, right? And so with a leak like this, We also have to pay the sewer fees, even though we know it did not go, based on where it was located, it did not go into the sewer system, but we don't have a meter to do that. It's not something that's like recommended or thought about when installing the pump system, right, which could be an option. Also, we don't get to choose when the emergencies happen or how it happens, right? It just is going to happen, and all you can do is at the time of asking for the adjustment is say, I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't know if I should save this or not, but you never know when you're going to need it. So, but the verbiage hinders the long-term resident more than the person that moves from house to house or buys a house and moves to a different house. So, and then a couple of things I wanted to like bring up as like options to think about, but maybe a tiered adjustment based on it being a hidden leak versus a leak that was visible, because visible leaks, you can identify it pretty quickly, stop the leak, but hidden leaks, there, I feel like should be some kind of middle ground, right? One part is, hey, can we have the adjustment on the sewer for these large leaks versus you just got to pay for it and deal with it because you used your one time back here. The other option is resetting maybe a lifetime thing into more of a reset period. So if you're a long-term resident, same account, same address, you've paid your bill, you are on time, you're a good citizen, 3 to 5 years, I don't know, whatever makes sense to the company or the organization, but find a way that helps the people that are here for a long time that are voting for the members of these, boards and the CEOs to be like, hey, we're looking out for you, not just the people that are in and out, back and forth and around. And then, of course, clarifying the verbiage for the bill adjustment / service agreement to be more black and white if you were to adjust or adopt that kind of verbiage changes. But overall, I'm here to ask for leniency on our bill adjustment and try to get that sewer, at least at the minimum, sewer adjusted to where we weren't using sewer to waste that water off into the system. But thank you for your time. That's all I really had, but just wanted to bring that up since we realized this all once we dug into it, and thought we'd bring that back to you.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I have no problem at all revisiting our procedure on that either. It makes a couple of very good points. When the one time adjustment was discussed and voted on the board, there was also a discussion on, like I know some county and water systems do this where you can call them and say, hey, I'm about to fill up my pool, and they won't charge you, the sewage for that. But
that's what we used our first one on, and we wished we hadn't.
Yeah.
Because we thought it would go away.
Right, and that was a discussion that apparently, according to our charter, and Mr. Dunaway can help me out with that, we're directed to encourage people to save water in our permit. Thank you, not our charter, but our permit. And that's why that particular reasoning was shot down, because it did not encourage people. It encouraged people to fill up their pools. So I have no problem at all revisiting that and coming up with a different solution. I think you make a good point there. Because we had a situation too at our house where I'm debating on whether or not I want to use it or not, because I'm like, wait a minute, I could probably pay this, but do I have to?
But if it was a septic house, I wouldn't even be here.
Of course.
I would just pay it
Of course, yeah, because it was just the water, not the sewage.
But if it's double for this bill, that seems very unfair.
I understand, absolutely understand. And I'm sure you guys have been in contact with Mr. Krigler at this point? And
No,
I have not.
Yeah.
I'm not really aware of this issue. We spoke about it briefly just before the meeting, but I
Okay.
haven't had a really chance to go over it too much.
Is this a situation where we could get you guys in touch with each other and,
Sure.
and see if we can come up with a solution?
Yeah, I mean, and I just want to say, I think what we try to do with our member service reps is if someone asks for a leak adjustment and it's either a pool fill or it's obviously not a really super large dollar value, I hope we try to caution them, okay, so our policy is one time. If you take it for, you know, 80, 90 bucks, you know, leaks can get way, way more than that.
But people also think it's just for a water pool fill,
Right.
and that you get a one-time pool fill, not a leak. You think, oh, I'm only gonna fill my pool once and that's it. I'm not gonna ask for that again.
Right, but again, that's, it goes against
Yeah.
what we're directed to do, which is encourage people not to fill up pools.
Yeah, we don't give any adjustment for pool fills anymore. We had to
That's,
Right.
yeah, that's why I
cancel
took
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's how we got to that.
Right, that makes sense.
So the first one you did have, it was actually, they did do an adjustment just for the sewage, but you paid for the water.
Yeah.
And so it's a completely different, no?
She's shaking her head.
Oh, okay, no, you look at it.
Both the water and the sewer were adjusted off of their bill because it was the one-time bill adjustment.
It was the one-time bill adjustment,
So
okay.
both of those.
All right, well, let's, I think we can move forward here and see if there's some options that we can come up with.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
And,
Sorry.
no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
The
Just
other
introduce yourself
option-
if you don't mind, and,
Katie Robertson, 8624 Olivier Street.
thank you.
The other thing that, it's not very nice, but because it's per person, per household, and people move around, like our daughter's 18, should I just move it into my daughter's name, the water bill, and she gets a one-time adjustment if we have an accident or something we don't catch again? Like, then that's gonna cause even more hassle of changing and still gonna take up people's time, administrative time.
Right,
But that's our other option too,
okay.
because we don't have another one-time fill, or another one-time.
Right, right. Like I said, maybe we can revisit.
Yeah, I think there's kind of two separate issues. There's one, seeing what we might be able to do for them specifically on this, and then maybe looking at the policies.
The
That's
policy.
a different animal. If anyone was on the board at the time, we did the leak adjustment policy. It was a pretty long, drawn-out discussion. So those two things can happen separately.
Okay,
So I'm willing to look into that.
so before you leave, let's get the information for you. All right. Thank you very much. Anyone else like to address the board? All right, Mr. Linnell.
Take your time, take your time.
Thanks. Don Linnell, 2586 Second Court. Don't say my address very often, sorry. My favorite subject, of course, at Hidden Creek, the club at Hidden Creek, sorry. Appreciate the update every month. Revenues are up, expenditures, budget. Speaking as a member, or even before, I mean, the only thing I know most of us really care about is, did the club make money or not that month? And I didn't get anything from the presentation today on, was there a net profit or net loss last month? Really, I think the majority of the members, especially the ones that come in here and say it's losing money, that's the only thing many people care about. Me in particular, on this side of the room, all I care is, did it make money or not? You know, you guys have to take care of the budget and do the things that you're supposed to. From my view, I just want to know, did it make money? So
It made money.
The answer is yes. And we can, you know, present those specifically next month, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the other stuff, but at some point, like right at the end, say, okay, for the month of July, net profit was 20K. You know, whatever it is, I'll just take that as a recommendation going forward.
Okay, we appreciate that, thank you. What was the final number here?
For
July was $116,976.46. So that's a great month.
Profit of 116K.
The net.
The net profit for July was $116,976.
What about year-to-date?
$284,025.46.
Excellent.
That's what we've been saying. They've had really great numbers this summer.
And August was a strong month too.
Yeah.
That was through July. August was also a strong month.
Great.
Okay,
Thanks.
well, thank you, we appreciate that, make a good point. All right, I see no one else up at the podium, and in that case, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.